AMEs around the world were once again thrilled by an unexpected moment between BTS members Jungkook and Taehyung. In a recent live interview, Jungkook suddenly revealed something that immediately left them speechless. With a serious yet relaxed expression, Jungkook said, "There's something I've wanted to tell someone for a long time, but I've never told anyone, including Taehyung." Fans held their breath, curious to see what would be revealed. Then, unexpectedly, Jungkook admitted that throughout his trainee days and up until now, Taehyung was the one who secretly encouraged him the most when he was about to give up. "I've never said it directly, but Taehyung was my savior during the hardest times," Jungkook said, his eyes welling up with tears. And here's the moment that shocked ARMY the most. The camera immediately focused on Taehyung, who initially looked shocked, then suddenly stood up and hugged Jungkook tightly in front of the camera. The atmosphere was immediately filled with emotion. Even the presenters witnessed the emotional moment. Not only that, Taehyung also commented, *, "You know, I also have something I've never told you. ****. But he just smiled and held back, making fans even more curious. This sincere and surprising moment immediately went viral on social media. Many fans admitted to crying when they saw the closeness and genuine friendship between the BTS members. After that warm embrace, the studio atmosphere turned incredibly emotional. The host even paused to let the moment sink in. Fan comments immediately flooded the live chat with crying emojis and purple hearts. Typical of ARMY. A few seconds later, Taehyung sat back down, but his expression was still filled with emotion. He looked at Jungkook with teary eyes and said softly, *, "I didn't expect you to still remember all that. I just want you to know, you're also the reason I'm holding on. Kook, *. Those words immediately silenced the audience. The chemistry and depth of their relationship were palpable. They weren't just bandmates, but true friends who had been through so much together since their trainee days decades ago. The other BTS members in attendance were also visibly moved. Leader M even commented, *, "This is the first time I've seen you guys talk like this. Usually, you guys just tease each other, *. Suga simply nodded with a small smile, while J-Hope, seemingly holding back tears, sighed, *, "I'm proud of you guys. This isn't an easy thing to say, especially in front of a camera, *. The moment not only touched fans' hearts, but also served as a reminder of the strong bond between the BTS members, a bond that can't be replaced by fame, awards, or follower counts. Hours after the event ended, the hashtags #TAEHYUNG'S moments and #ThankYouJungkook were trending in various countries. Video footage of their hug went viral, even reaching mainstream Korean and international media. And what made ARMY even more curious were Taehyung's final words before the event concluded. "Maybe someday I'll tell you, but not now." Then he smiled meaningfully as he looked at Jungkook, as if he were holding back a big secret. What exactly was Taehyung trying to reveal? Was there a story behind their friendship that had never been revealed to the public? One thing was for sure, after that day, many hearts were warmed by the honesty and closeness of these BTS members. After the official event ended and the main cameras were turned off, the BTS members remained seated relaxedly on the sofas backstage. But the atmosphere still felt different, silent yet warm, as if something was still unfinished. Jungkook seemed to be still pondering Taehyung's words. He then turned to his friend and asked quietly, *Young, what do you mean? Is there something you haven't told me? *. Taehyung only smiled faintly, then replied, *Yes, but it's not the right time yet. Later, when you're ready, I'll tell you, *. That answer only made Jungkook even more curious. But he chose to remain silent, simply nodding slowly, as if understanding that not everything can be revealed all at once. However, the behind-the-scenes cameras, which remained running, silently recorded the next crucial moment. A few moments later, as the members began to prepare to leave, Taehyung approached Jungkook and slipped a small letter into his jacket pocket. Without a word, with just a meaningful look, he patted Jungkook's shoulder once, then walked away first, leaving the room. Jungkook, realizing this, immediately reached into his jacket pocket and found the letter. He looked around, making sure no one was watching, then slowly opened the letter. The message was brief, yet profound. There are things I've kept hidden because I didn't want to burden you. But you should know, you've been more important than you think. If you're reading this, it means you're strong enough to know everything. Taehyung. Jungkook's eyes welled up with tears. He reread the letter several times, trying to understand the hidden meaning behind each word. A feeling of emotion, curiosity, and warmth slowly welled up within him. What exactly had Taehyung been keeping? What secrets had he yet to reveal? And why had he chosen to tell them in a letter, rather than in person? That night, Jungkook decided one thing. He would speak to Taehyung in person, and find out all the answers he had yet to reveal. Ever since receiving Taehyung's letter, Jungkook's mind has been filled with questions. He tried to act normal during practice and other BTS schedules, but his eyes often looked blank, as if his thoughts kept returning to the letter. Finally, one night after a recording session in the studio, Jungkook decided not to wait any longer. He sent Taehyung a text message. Jungkook sat frozen, his eyes never leaving Taehyung's face, which was now looking down as if afraid to face the answer that was about to come. Taehyung's hands clenched into fist in his lap, nervous, perhaps also ready for rejection. But surprisingly, Jungkook didn't pull away. He wasn't angry, not offended. Instead, he smiled slightly, though there was a clear wave in his eyes. Why? Are you saying this now? Jungkook finally asked, his voice soft. Taehyung shrugged, trying to smile, though it looked fragile. Because now you're strong enough to hear the answer. And I'm brave enough to accept whatever your reaction is. Jungkook took a deep breath. His head dropped, staring at his hands clasped together in his lap. Then he said softly, Taehyung. All this time, I thought all these feelings were just comfort, security. But as time goes by, I realize I can never be far from you either. I never really understood why I always cared about you more than anyone else. Taehyung's eyes quickly turned to Jungkook. Jungkook looked back at him, this time more confident. Maybe? I feel the same way. I just don't dare put a name to it. Taehyung held his breath. For a moment, his eyes seemed to well up with tears. But he fought back the tears with a sincere chuckle. So, you're not disgusted by me? Jungkook laughed softly, then pinched Taehyung's arm lightly. Young, even if you suddenly said you were an alien, I wouldn't be disgusted. They both laughed. A light laugh, but one filled with release. Then, in a returning silence, they looked at each other. Taehyung then took Jungkook's hand, slowly, carefully, as if he wasn't sure whether he should or not. But Jungkook didn't take his hand away. Instead, he grabbed back. That night, in the old park that held many of their memories, the two friends sat next to each other, hands clasped together ... and their hearts for the first time opened completely to each other. Jungkook and Taehyung still joked and teased each other as usual. But now there was something more relaxed between them. It was like there were no boundaries holding them back. Had casually asked during dinner, why do you guys seem to be getting along better than usual? Jungkook just smiled, and Taehyung replied lightly, we just don't have to pretend anymore. The members looked at each other, not understanding but also not wanting to force it. But for the two of them, there was no need for a big announcement.